Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have your girl, Honey Jai. To my right, we have Miss Chrissy. And to my further right, we have
Nicole is here.
And then we have our call-in.
Fancy Red.
Do we still? All right. Well, today's topic is inadequate. And I want to break down what inadequate means. Inadequate means that you have some type of baggage goods. Today, our preference we're going to use is, we're going to start with men, but we can work our way to the women. Because we always have baggage goods when it comes to a man. So, starting off with it, I wanted to ask one of my co-hosts, what do you think your baggage good is?
That's a good question. Like, am I a truly damaged good or I'm just mean? There's a difference between being, having a damaged good. Because you can be mean, and that can be a baggage that you bring into a relationship, and you could cause a lot of turmoil in it.
True.
So more like anger management type issues.
I think we all have that, so that's probably the reason why we can't count ourselves today.
Right, or being too aggressive. But I think over time, life can teach you to be overly aggressive because they make you have to fight. And so is that really baggage? I'm not sure that can be considered baggage.
What do you think, Fancy Red?
I think both could be considered baggage, but a lot of that baggage I feel is due to the damaged goods that we're dealing with. Because deal with somebody that's damaged, and you either have to take the time to figure out how to deal with that damaged person, or you just say, forget it and walk away.
So, honestly, when it comes to myself thinking about damaged goods, I'm going to tell you what I was thinking about. So, the majority of the women, when they become damaged goods, I think it comes from when we have this bad, it could be a relationship with a friend, it could be a relationship with a man. But it becomes where we become more precautious on things. We start noticing things that nobody else noticed. And so people tend to think that that's damaged goods because we come into the relationship with an extra precaution because of what we already been through yesterday, the day before that, and the year before that. So with that being said, I know there's no men that want to defend themselves of today. But I do know that today the topic is inadequate. And we're going to try to be our best to just kind of sit down and figure out what we can talk about as a women to get it together and see how we can help some of these men who are damaged, especially if you consider yourself loving them. And by the way, I'm Honey Jai.
That is true. This is Miss Chrissy. And we do have to try to help one another is what it starts out about, because we all are molded by the various relationships we have throughout life, and that is on a job, that is in love, that is with children, with family. There are different types of relationships that mold us and things that happen to us and the way we start thinking and seeing things. And so it's a fine line that I think we walk to try to figure out when and where to let go. When do we stop trying?
Or how to let go. Because, yes. It's easy when you try to let go, and then that other person also have damaged goods, but they don't realize they are damaged themselves. And they feel like that you're the one that everything is on you. And that's when people start pointing out each other flaws and what's going on with each other, versus where you should be trying to help each other and figure out what triggers there are to try to cope with the whole situation. I think that's a whole main part of it's the triggers. Everybody have been through it. Everybody have been through something. It just might been worse than others. Like we used to say, physical wounds might heal, mental won't go away from people. So a lot of people got to learn how to cope with different things when they're damaged. And then they have to actually own up and say, I am damaged. Yeah, that's the main thing. A lot of people are not saying, I am damaged. Good.
True.
Okay, so you want me to just say, because my last relationship, you talk so bad to me, I'm just damaged. I don't think nobody's going to just I'm not going to fess up and say I'm damaged. I'm going to say I'm going to need help. Or I'm going to say, can you help me pass this trigger? You know what I'm saying? Because what you said today or what you just said yesterday, that was my trigger. So I don't want to get angry about it because that's what makes me inadequate. When I start being angry about it, I can't tell you or I'm not able to process the fact that that's a trigger that happened in the day, back in the day. So, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to tell you, oh, I'm damaged goods. I'm going to tell you if that's a trigger, can I get you to help me out with this trigger? Let's not talk about this no more. Let's not hit it the way we hit it this time. Let's try it another way.
But
Well,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't think it's about coming out verbally and saying, "Oh, I'm damaged goods." You know, I mean, we can all say and realize we need to exercise because we might be overweight. But so you don't have to say it, you can be about it. I know what some of my shortcomings are, so I know I need to start working on those. If it starts affecting my relationship in a way, I need to start with me as opposed to blaming the other person, start pointing out the other person's faults. So you don't have to necessarily say that it's, come out and verbally say, yes, I'm damaged. Unless, there are some people I feel like that really are truly damaged and they need therapy along with it. And that's not being funny. You just need some help.
I'm giggling because
yeah.
I don't want to pay for therapy. Sometimes I feel like I be needing it. You
Yeah.
know? Mm-hmm. And that's just going back into just being with someone who's overbearing or who think they can conquer everything or
right.
they can, your thoughts are now officially their thoughts.
Right.
All right. When I get up in the morning and I'm going to eat Cheerios, you're going to eat Cheerios too.
Right.
So, you can consider that as being damaged, but you also look at it as, okay, so when my biggest thing is when I go into a relationship, I tell you first thing, you can't tell me what to do.
Right.
That's the first thing I say out of my mouth. You can't tell me what to do because I got a daddy.
Right.
So with me saying that, I had to explain that that's a trigger. You even if you're trying to help me, just tell me, this is a suggestion. Don't say, hey, you need to do. As soon as you tell me that, that's like whatever you say just went out the window, down the street, 2 blocks down and made a left.
Right.
I'm not listening.
Right.
I'm not going to listen.
Right.
So I think with being inadequate, each one of us can say we had that opportunity of being inadequate, but being able to bounce back from it, seeing that we had an issue and then coming back and trying to at least help fix it when it comes out, because we don't necessarily get it. We normally push out this different perception of ourselves that we don't realize we're pushing, and then we realize that we're messing up in that relationship.
Right.
And then after which, it's either A, y'all not talking, or B, this relationship is over and you're starting over again.
Right.
And so, just talking about being inadequate, I think, first is just saying, hey, I've had this problem and it's something that I deal with. But when we talk about it, when it comes to a man, men don't normally know that they have that issue. Like, they really don't. They go into the relationship and they have this baggage, and then they look at, oh, I don't like this. Boom, next relationship.
Right.
Because they don't like what was here. And I just think that sometimes it takes the stronger, the better half, the true better half. I won't say the stronger woman, the better half, that individual who's supposed to be with you, you'll be able to either adjust, help, and relate and release, or you get to step in.
Exactly. Exactly.
So how do you really know that you're damaged if you never had to identify that you were truly damaged goods? Because a lot of people don't know they're truly damaged.
Exactly.
So if they're coming in with all this extra to you, and you looking like, oh my God, I never had to deal with situations and things of that nature, but they feel like they're not damaged, how would you actually approach that person? Because it's a different way. It's a certain way you have to approach certain people.
Right.
Because of the certain things they happened through in the past. And men feel, and I know with men, certain men that are truly men, they feel like they are strong enough, they're supposed to hold their own, but not realizing that they can have that person that they dumping off all their baggage and luggage to, that's actually there to help them, but they don't realize that's what they're doing. They hindering that relationship. They sabotaging their own relationships with that.
Right.
And they don't think that that's happening, but that's what's really happening on the woman's perspective of the end. Be like, okay, why is this happening to me? And I'm the one trying to help you and support you.
Right.
True that.
And they don't know that they're damaged. So how would you get across to that person when you are damaged good?
I don't think I would just come out and say, hey, you're damaged good, but I would say that, there's an underlying issue here, and we both need to point that out. Because most of the time when a woman points out a man's issue, 99% of the time he's pointing out yours too. It's always a point. And it shouldn't, to me, a relationship shouldn't be about a tit for a tat. I hit you, you hit me back. I don't think relationships should be like that. I think that
not a healthy
once you see that I'm having an issue, that you come to me and you say, hey, baby, we need to talk. XYZ. It just don't seem like, you're not yourself when we talk about this. I can deal with that instead of someone saying, well, you need to, because like I said, I have that mentality. You can't tell me what to do.
Well, and I think the number one key is communication, and it's how you communicate. Right. So many don't know how to communicate. I'm not sitting here saying I'm an expert on it. I have to continue to work on it because it's all in the presentation. If I bring you a sirloin steak with all the trimmings, but it's on a trash can lid, you don't want that steak.
Not at all.
So it really is about how we communicate with one another. Because as was stated earlier, if you don't know you have a problem, that's why I said it's more than just a relationship between a man and a woman. On your job, if I'm doing the job wrong, but nobody ever tells me I'm doing it wrong, I am going to continue to do it wrong.
That is
so
great.
It is about how not going in aggressively pointing out, this is what you're doing wrong. Don't be the drill sergeant. First of all, that's why we need to date and talk and get to know one another, because everyone accepts things a different way. Everybody's love language is not the same. So you do take it. Some people want to get phone calls. Oh, call me. Oh, that just mean he loved me. Don't call me while I'm at work. I'm at work, and I trust you enough that I know that we're good. Because you on your job, we on the grind. We trying to make it happen. So I don't need you to call me every hour on the hour. But there are those, I'm not dogging anybody, there are those that is their love language. So, it's about respecting one another. When you look at older couples that have been together for years, they talk about the level of respect.
Right.
And that's what it boils down to. And respect means a lot of things in a lot of ways. Accepting that, as Honey Jai said, that's her trigger. Okay, I'm going to have to respect that that's her trigger. It doesn't matter if I think that trigger is the dumbest trigger in the land. Right. If I care about this person,
correct.
Guess what? Her trigger becomes my trigger. Her trigger becomes my trigger.
Right.
And that's where you end up respecting one another. So it's really, to me, about how we communicate. I think, a lot of people, when they're about to get married, there's the counseling, and it's teaching how to communicate. But it's funny, we don't have that. I think communication needs to be a requirement even in school.
Right.
So that, between a parent and a child.
Right.
Because guess what? Kids learn their communication skills from us as they're growing up. So, when we see them go and send them out into the world and they're talking to one another a certain kind of way, some of it is from us.
That's true.
That is so true. And for those who are just now tuning in, we're speaking about Inadequate. Myself, Honey Jai, and
Miss Chrissy.
Yes, please introduce yourself.
Nicole and Fancy Red on the line.
She's on the line. And we haven't heard much from you, Miss Fancy Red, so why don't you let us know, what your thoughts are.
Okay, well, I'm sitting here listening and taking all this in, and one of the things that I was paying attention to is the communication part of it. We as a people, we as a society have to learn how to communicate. And like you guys said, it comes from home, but the problem is most of the time home doesn't know how to communicate.
That is correct.
So all you're doing is passing this bad communication down from one person to the next. But if you see that within your relationship, things are not going well. You can't talk to each other. You can't say, how was your day without being snapped at. You have to do something. You have to take action, and you have to take action in a positive way. You can't just say, you know what, I can't do. You can't just go off. That does not work, and that usually gets the worst negative reaction that you can ever get.
True.
That's true.
And the part of the baggage and all of that, you noticing that you have baggage and your mate noticing that you have baggage, both have to take the time to heal.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You can heal together. I feel like you can heal together, but I feel like you both have to make a positive effort to want to heal yourself and then heal together. Because if you continue on that bad path and you continue throwing your baggage at each other, that's not going to work at all.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Because it becomes a defense mechanism.
Correct.
You're right.
Everybody throwing up defense. I'm defending
Right.
myself against you. It's always a defense, and no one, like you said, the communication piece is no longer there anymore because now we're in the battle.
Correct.
Yeah, you're
Right.
not working together on
Right.
it. Yeah. But you can't lose yourself. That's one thing I did notice
True.
with my parents as my father started becoming ill. My mother still had her life. She took care of my father until the end. Mm-hmm. But she never lost self. And he never wanted her to lose self. So even though he could no longer go with her to a lot of places, he was like, you go.
Right.
It wasn't, oh, I need you just stay here with me.
Right.
And even when they both were healthy enough, he had his outlet. And she made us understand she was glad he had his outlet. Let him go do him, so that she could get with the girls and do her. But they were still respectful to one another. So I think, as you stated, you have to recognize your baggage, work on it separately, and then when you're together, there's things you work together about. Because you have to keep self included. So
Right.
yeah, I agree. You sometimes you just if you don't have anybody willing to work with you, then that's the problem. Because in all relationships, it's not one sided.
But you also, but what about like being selfish? You know what I'm saying? Some people don't even know they're selfish.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they're so selfish to the point where people outside the relationship don't even want to deal with you. I believe that when it comes to being a woman, sometimes, we're a little selfish to certain things. Like when we was talking about how the Bible says that the man puts that woman first, this and that. But then you have to think about it. What about these blended families? Because, see, the Bible don't have blended families in them. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to this blended family with, you got husband with 4, wife with 4, and you guys come together, somewhere in there, wife needs to know to get out of the way so he can tend to the others. Where to me, that's when it's the opportunity to say, you know what? Right now, what's going on with me is not as important as what's going on with Junior or what's going on with little Timothy or Billy. Because to me, that's that man's job to give that little boy what he needs so he can be a man, and then give that little girl what she needs so she know what to see in a man. So with that being said, I think a part of also being inadequate is just not being respectable enough to know when to move out the way, because selfishness is a lack of respect somewhere, and being selfish, I think that causes a lot of divorces because people don't even pay attention to the fact that they walked in with, okay, the Bible says that you're supposed to do for me and I'm supposed to do for you. I'm first, you're first, boom. But you still got 4 here and 4 here.
Okay.
So how?
But let me explain to you how the Bible does address that. The Bible addresses it with the simple structure of family.
Right.
Just because it's blended does not break up that structure. God first, man, wife, kids. Period. The end. So when you do have that, that's what I'm saying. So it does address it. A lot of people a lot of people, just human, we're going to go find that scripture that applies to us best.
And we're going to apply it.
And that's the deal. Exactly.
Where we see fit.
So it does address it. We don't always follow it.
Right.
That's the problem. And like you said, it's the selfishness, you know.
Because there's a time where you really have to move. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And you see people do that even without it being a blended family.
Correct.
You know, unfortunately.
But I use the blended family because, you know, these are outside kids. So this is mommy's kids and this is daddy's kids.
Oh, yeah.
And we put this together. You
Brady
just
bunch.
can't be correct. You just can't be first.
Right.
You are first after God.
Right.
But note to self, sometimes you got to know when to scoot over.
Yeah.
And let the man be what he needs to be for the other members of the household.
Exactly.
It's no more your kids, my kids.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's ours.
Yeah, if you got together, it's supposed to be ours.
Kids.
These are our kids.
It's just like those are yours.
All 57 of them. We blend.
Yeah.
You know, Tamla Mann, from David and Tamla Mann, she stated that she introduced one of David's daughters as her stepdaughter. And they walked away, and his daughter quickly corrected her and said, "Why did you say that?" And she didn't even know what she said.
Right.
And she asked her, you introduced me as your stepdaughter. Wow. And so she thought she was respecting her. She wasn't doing it to be cruel or anything.
Right.
And the daughter explained to her, "I want you to say I'm your daughter."
Right.
She knows who her mother is.
Right.
So it was no disrespect to her own mother.
Right.
But that's the way that young lady felt. Now, mind you, not every child feels that way.
Correct.
But in that case, you know, so I think it's a case-by-case basis, obviously, you know. But that's just one example.
Where communication come in at, too.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she felt comfortable enough with her to say that to her, you know, and then the daughter didn't front her out, you know, because she could have been that stepchild, you know, and went, "What you calling me that for?" You know, or whatever, but she didn't do that, so... You know,
and then we get a lot of it. People just getting together just to be together because they don't want to be alone.
True,
and that's a lot of things. The reason why it's a lot of inadequacy going on.
That's true.
Because people are actually just getting together.
Yeah, for the wrong reason.
The wrong reason.
Yeah.
You know, and the main thing you look at is, you know, they always tell you, be careful who you lay down with.
That is true.
That is so true.
That is true.
That is so true.
Really
Because that's a baggage within a baggage within a baggage.
Yeah, because that's a lifetime baggage.
It is.
That's a lifetime baggage.
It is.
As long as, and then you have that connection for life.
And do you also think that sometimes, and this is just getting a little bit deep and maybe sidetracked, but do you also think that sometimes people bring in those bad spirits, from them old relationships?
Oh, yes.
It done jumped on them and they done came over with that spirit and...
negative. It's negative. Everything is negative energy that comes through. If you positive and they bring in negative, that's not gonna work.
That's not gonna work. I mean, it's like us today. If we had started off and the day just was going bad, then I don't need to come sit here and speak with you ladies right now. You know, you should know yourself.
Right.
So if it's so bad on me that I'm just gonna come in all frowned up, pruned up, then no. I mean, we're here to have a good conversation and try to help one another, you know, then I don't need to come in on that if that's what I'm doing, you know. I mean, so you need to know yourself and accept yourself because you can't even improve yourself.
Right.
On a lot of things if you don't do that first, so.
Yeah, you know, because, you know, I thought about this years ago. This guy told me he was not the man for me, and I was like, I'm glad you're not. You know, you know, because you know, I at that present time, I'm in my 20s. So I don't understand. Okay,
where he was coming
from with that. But now, when you grow and get older, you're like, oh, now you get it.
Exactly.
But at first, I was like, I'm glad you're not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
but that's good. You can go back and see that growth in yourself, even. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, definitely the 20-year-old Cassandra is not the 40-year-old
Cassandra.
Cassandra.
Exactly.
Because the 20-year-old Cassandra needed a lot of help.
That 20-year-old honey jive really did a lot.
Right.
No, the 20-year-old honey jive needed to go because she was bored alone. So she needed to learn a couple of lessons.
Right.
And I didn't have too many female friends to kind of tell me the lessons. And then my mom, she worked all the time.
Yeah.
So it was more so like, make sure you get done, make sure your room's clean.
Right.
So I thought being
The
a woman
basics.
was about cleaning up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not knowing
Right.
that, okay, I'm in a relationship for 3 months and I look at you and think, I don't like you.
Right.
And then 3 months later, I'm in a whole different relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And not even knowing that I'm looking bad
Right.
to other people.
But it didn't
Right.
matter at that present time.
Yeah.
Not
I mean,
at that
because it's the
time.
learning curve.
It was a huge learning
You didn't
curve.
come out of the womb knowing it all, so you
And
gotta
so like
learn.
me, I'm like, if I have damaged goods, I didn't know I had it because the thing is, I looked at it as, oh, that's just an experience, a lesson learned. I keep moving forward.
Right.
Where I didn't bring it into the next relationship. I didn't bring it into that relationship. Because to me, I don't feel like that was a healthy thing to do. I push it out. I'm like, it's over with. That person's gone. I can keep moving forward.
Right.
And I'm going to keep I'm building my blocks and making my steps go high. But I'm learning from each experience that I'm with that person. Whoever I'm with, like Giovanni.
Right. But like you said,
Yeah.
you might not realize
Yeah.
that you still could be bringing something in, even though we might think
Right.
we're
Right, but I think that's a
overcoming.
good thought, because like with me, I'll tell you in a minute, I do. I think a lot. That's
Right.
my biggest problem. I think a lot. And
Mhm.
so you could say like,
Let's see.
whatever. But you could say like, and I don't even call it a trigger word. You can do something,
Right.
and I'll have a flash or something back in the day, and immediately I'm glad that I have you guys, because I would pick the phone and be like, look, let me talk to you for a second, because I'm about to lose it,
Right, right.
And I'm reminiscing.
Yeah.
I don't see that face of the individual no more. I see that old face.
Right.
And I'm in my mind, though it's a new relationship, you said something from something old and it threw me completely off my game where I have worked on myself, where I have elevated myself. I've learned how to elevate my sisters. I've learned how to be there for people that, and that's a learning process, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's a learning
Oh,
process
yeah.
because I was a very, very selfish individual because I was the only girl.
Right.
That's just what that was. But with that being said, I had to pick the phone up like, okay, I need a lifeline.
Right.
Because right about now, I think I'm going to drown. Like literally, I'm either I'm going to drown myself, I'm going to drown the relationship.
Right.
And I think that's my better growth right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the simple fact, at first there was like I'm sorry, what did you say?
Right.
And I went there.
Yeah.
But now I get real quiet. It's a
Right.
humbling experience.
Oh, yeah.
I humble myself and I think, okay, is this you?
Right.
Is this you? Because this could be me. Let me get a lifeline.
Right.
Somebody that know that I can go from 0 to 100 real quick.
Right.
And maybe I'm at 50 and I need to go back down to 1.
Exactly.
So some of those are the things that people don't realize is an inadequacy as well. And as you see, I point mine out. I work mine out every single day because of the simple fact that's just what we do as women. We see something about ourselves that we don't like. That's our weight, our hair, our skin, our nails, our toes. Anything that we think we don't like about ourselves, we
We're gonna
fix
change
it.
it.
Yeah.
Some people tend to do lipo, add boobies,
Right.
remove boobies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It just
Yeah.
depends on that individual.
Right.
But when it comes to our psyche, it is up to us to work on it every single day. It's up to us. And like I said, I pull my lifelines out. I have to ask, am I tripping? Is this
Right.
me?
Exactly.
Right.
And
Yeah.
with that being said, because I have that lifeline, and everybody don't have that lifeline, and I advise you to find it, even if it's your mama,
Yeah,
pastor,
whoever. Yeah.
it's just somebody.
Whoever your village is. Exactly. Yeah.
If you can get that opportunity to get that off of
Somebody
you.
that's positive.
Yes, yes. Not somebody who just they
Agreeing.
single and want
Yeah,
you to be
placating
single.
you.
too.
Yeah.
Or they're
Yes.
just going to agree with whatever you say.
Or
Yeah.
my number one thing, fluff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't.
Fluff everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need a placater.
Right.
You don't need someone that's going
But
to
somebody who's gonna
yeah.
actually take you in a direction that where you and actually they're not even taking you in the direction, they just leading you to the correct water. Because see, there's this polluted water and then there's this pure water.
Right.
And I want the pure water. So like I said, I do contact my lifeline to make sure it's not me because I don't want to bring into my household negativity because I misunderstood something.
Exactly.
And that's a good point now. Because in my 20s, the understanding, I'm better on my understanding.
Yeah.
Because my understanding
Was zero.
But I'm glad you know.
And what was come out my mouth, I did not care
Zero.
what came out my mouth at that time. I didn't even care about it. So if I hurt your feelings, it is what it is. You know, you should have said what you said. I don't know what you said. I don't remember. I could care less. Right. But it was at that moment and at that point. Whatever you said, I reacted to it, and I hit you, and I'm gone. You know, I'm done talking about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. And I'm still kind of like that now. And I'm working on that. Right. You know, where people, once we have this conversation, we should be done.
You're right.
I don't want to hear about it 2 days later.
Right.
You know, we're not gonna drag this on. We're gonna have that conversation. I'm done talking about it.
Get it all out.
Right.
That's it.
Yes.
Right.
And that's another thing right there. When you get it out. And once you put it on the table, leave it there.
Yeah,
that's
you're
just
supposed
like
to let it
asking
go.
God, hey, Lord, please help me with this. And you gave it to God, and then you took a portion of it back.
Yeah.
I mean,
as if he didn't know what he was doing.
Right, exactly. Now, we don't know what we're doing.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
But once we put it out on the table with that individual, that friend, that lover, we should leave it right there and start from ground zero, because that officially is dead.
Yes.
That's dead.
Exactly. Yeah, don't beat that dead horse.
Right.
Yeah. See, mine and I'm still working on myself as well. You cross me one time too many. And I don't give you too many times.
Right. One time.
And then
1, 2.
And you can actually live next door to me. And I can disappear on you.
I love it.
You can be standing on my porch. I know you see me watching television. You just gonna watch me through the window watching television. You know, but everybody needs somebody. I have faults as well, so I've definitely learned not to cut people off so quickly. You know, not that I'm just so perfect and you just, boy, you did it, and so I'm done. And I don't ever have to call you again. I mean, your number can still be in my phone. It won't get punched ever. You know, and that's not right, you know, because everybody has their faults. We all need somebody. And we have to deal with one another the best way we can. Now, are those people out there that you really do need to cut off because it's not healthy? Yes. You know, I look back at Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston. Mm-hmm. He stated clearly, I can't give him this much credit. He said, we were not good together.
Right.
They were not good for one another.
He loved her.
He loved her, but they were not good for one another. You know, he said when he was trying to get clean, she was staying dirty.
Right.
When she was trying to get clean, he was staying dirty. You know, they basically one could not help the other. Mm-hmm. You know, I can give him that much credit. None of us were in that house with them, but you know, so you have those that are, Bobby made her do it. Well, Bobby's choice was alcohol starting off.
Right.
So he didn't make her snort nothing.
She was already there.
You know, she was already around the way, girl.
Her choice
doing her thing.
She's already on that
and
level.
so you can't put two addictive nature people together and think it's gonna work out to be a positive thing.
Though we all have an addiction,
Yeah.
sometimes another addiction will weigh heavier than the other and bring the whole relationship,
down.
Everybody down.
Yeah.
And that's a sad thing to say.
I think more like now, people need to start self-checking themselves before they start pointing out other people's flaws. Because, you know,
we all
nobody is perfect walking around here.
Right.
We all have issues. We all have something going on.
Right.
Other people know how to maintain it and control it, because my thing, if it's not controllable, I'm not worried about it. If I can control the situation, then I control it. That's how I look at it.
Right.
But other people don't know how to look at things of that nature. Everything they feel like has to be controlled, even if it's out of their hands.
Yeah.
So I think on me, first, like she said, like Miss Chrissy said, I can cut you off real quick too, and I'll be looking at you, and I'll look dead at you like I don't know you. You know, and I had to grow from that. I had to really, really grow from it, because I have had done that before. People would come up to me, just talk to me. I'd be looking at them like,
do I know you?
You're like a non-factor. I had my
and the language that would come out my mouth would not be right.
You were a non-factor.
And that's crazy. So let's get the signs on these women first of all. Let's get the signs on these women, because you got to know the crazy. So we got this crazy one right here.
I'm a Capricorn.
Okay.
Scorpio.
Oh my God. And there it is. Then you got this Taurus over here who got a problem with
The
being
bull.
sensitive.
The bull.
I got a nerve to be
How's
sensitive.
a bull sensitive?
And you got the Aquarius in the middle.
Oh boy.
And but baby,
Just
when
floating in the water.
when that bull get tired,
You're right.
it's a hard
Yeah. In a China
individual
China
to
shop.
deal with.
Yeah.
A beautiful thing. Ain't that funny? We got 2 cut-offers.
Yeah.
And we got 2 sentimentals.
Yeah.
And I would
can
always
still
say,
be with you
Yeah.
and get over you and still be looking at you smiling like, hey, baby, I'm and I'm still over here on the other side doing something different. So, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
I cut you off, but still smile in your face.
Yeah.
But it is good to have that person that you can call up and like, because I'd have been mad about some stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, they can tell you I'd have been hot. Oh, I'm done. This is it. Y'all got me blue, 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 blue.
I'm done.
yes!
And they be like, no, it's not.
You'll be all right.
My favorite words, you done? Are you done?
And
You not.
and she just doesn't bother calling me. I'm just looking at her like, whatever. You know, I mean, but you do have to learn because I had the 3 F's.
Yeah.
You're not feeding, financing, and y'all pick up the
Yeah.
last F. Again, you're a non-factor.
Right.
And so,
I don't even want to be fed. You know what I'm saying? I can feed my day.
yeah, so, you know, but
You
I mean,
finance.
you have to put that in perspective for a lot of things. So, that's okay for the bum on the street. But when you're really trying to build a true relationship,
Yeah.
and I don't care if it's business, if it's, like I said, on the job, at your church, or whatever male-female relationship, you must learn to bend somewhere in there.
It's a lot of compromising you have to do.
It's a lot of compromising.
Ooh, baby.
Right,
Sometimes
right.
compromises that make you just want to go ahead and say, Lord,
Yeah.
please take the wheel.
Yeah.
And you be
Well,
wondering.
you have to give it to them sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, we very strong. All the women up here is very strong.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
when that person rides your back, you be like, "You gonna ever get off this back?"
Yeah.
Right.
You know, am I gonna have to throw you off my back? You know, am I gonna hump you up? Why you still on my back? I'm gonna punch you or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's how we feel at times.
Yeah.
Especially in certain situations, or even in our relationship, you feel like a person might be riding you, but you're not understanding the reason why they're riding you because you are the stronger of the two.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I had to learn that too
Yeah.
as well coming up. You are the strongest of the two, so they're gonna ride the strongest.
Right. Because in a relationship, we get from society dictation of, well, the man pays all the bills and the man does and the woman does and the man does. And guess what? Between you and your mate, as long as y'all have the understanding, the rest of the world don't need to know who's paying the bills because the female might be the better one at handling the money.
Exactly.
So long as you and your man are good, or them and their woman are good. See, don't nobody know that, and they don't need to know it.
And that's another thing, ladies. Stop telling
your
business.
Every person that your friends sometimes are not your friends. And they got to understand.
Right. Noticing your friends. Right.
You got to know
noticing.
Noticing.
Because I'm a person, like, if a situation is happening in a marriage, that's not my business.
Nope.
And I would tell them, I can't tell you to leave or stay.
No.
Right.
I can't tell you. I can listen to you, but I'm not going to tell you to leave or stay. I can't do that for you. That's your decision.
And unless he thumping your head right in front of you. All I'm going to do even then is get you out of the situation right then.
Yeah.
And especially if you have children.
Right.
But again, you going to have to deal with that situation because I don't live with that person. I'm not the one that's in love with him. So it'd be very easy for me to say, girl, leave him, bye, go, boom, boom.
Correct.
You had kids with this person. Or even if you didn't, and it's a blended family, as Honey Josh spoke about earlier, there is a connection because it didn't start off with him punching you in your face.
Right.
If it did, and you walked in there, then you need a whole lot of
Your feelings hurt real bad.
something else wrong. So, but So I'm not going to jump into that, but like we said, we need to stop. I mean, and Lord have mercy, Facebook is to find long lost friends and classmates.
Right. Yes,
Why am I telling you that I drank and ate some fish this afternoon and drank some Kool-Aid with it, and then it gave me the runs.
Right. We don't need to know that. Or like the post that I saw earlier.
And the Kool-Aid made me go pee 10 times today. No. I can't.
Well, I think the main thing is for us, if you're honest about your whole situation, whatever situationship you want or relationship you call it, if you honest about it, no one can say anything about what you're doing. You don't edify this man, and we looking at something totally different. There's a lot of people that edify things, and then we know what's happening on the back burner.
Right.
And you really uplifting this person, and this person is not worthy of being uplifted. You have to understand some things.
Yeah, don't put on a facade, because the veil will be lifted.
And then think about it on the other foot. Don't sit up here and make it sound like this man ain't doing nothing. And he breaking his neck. But because you decide you want to be materialistic, which means you have an inadequacy, that he's supposed to take care of all that. I believe that a man should take care of a woman, but you should be able to take care of your darn self, and you should be able to take care of him as well.
My thing is, 50-50, because don't require something that you can't give either.
Right.
So that's my thing. Don't require anything that you can't give back.
Don't require that $1,500 mortgage if you can't afford his $1,600 mortgage.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not ask for it back. Let's try that one.
Right. Yeah.
That's when it gets real.
Yeah.
That's when you love that individual. Hey, I done gave this man $1,600 out of my account to make sure he's straight. Oh yeah, you on a whole different type of love. And in your mind, you thinking, I just gave this man $1,600.
Right.
And you're not asking for it back.
Yeah.
And that's when you're moving forward to another level.
Yeah.
That's another level. So that inadequacy should have stopped right there when you made that new decision.
And don't
to
get mad.
Be there.
If anything goes south in the relationship, don't get mad. And then you also
and bring it
up.
Right. Oh, girl.
That's a gift.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you shouldn't you shouldn't have given it if you can't afford to not have it anyway.
Or if you weren't genuine on giving it. Because when that man took care of the school shopping, or took all the kids school shopping and bought them shoes and clothes and got them haircuts and hairdos, you wasn't pop locking it. You was up there just, oh my God, he's just a good man.
He's a wonderful person.
Exactly.
And then he does one thing wrong, and that was one thing. It was so funny in my 30s. Let's just go there. In my 30s, you could do a million things right, but that one bad thing outweighed the 1 million. So I would just be like, you dirty. That was my number one. I can't stand. And when I wake up in the morning, it was just a frown.
Right.
And I had to learn how to fix my face. I didn't even know what a poker face was until I got about 35, and I kept smiling because I didn't want people to know my situation. It wasn't as bad as it looked to me. Because let's not get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? When your man get up and it's snowing outside and you at work, and he get in the car and pick you up from work because he know you don't drive.
All right.
It's some good in him. So I can't dog, but I can say that in that relationship, it wasn't for us.
Right.
We made a better friendship, and then sometimes
he was not the man for a year.
He was my
a man for someone else.
Right. He was my season. And I tried to prolong the season. Because I looked at all the good. I tried to prolong the season.
Exactly.
So the good thing about it is, like I said, we all wake up. Because I woke up.
Right.
And my outlet was a beautiful thing at that time because we all had flags.
Oh yeah.
So knocking folks over and pushing them down, that was just the bomb for me because my household I felt like I couldn't control because I was the woman.
Right.
Which that's another story for another day or another time on another topic.
Right.
But at this time, that's where I see that I've grown I could just say within the last year that I no longer push a button because you push mine. Because I used to do that. You push mine, I got yours. Okay. Oh, I got your number, your phone number, your dog number, and your mama number. You know that. But I learned that let me sit down because again I am that 0 to 100 friend. So I had to sit down and I had to ask the rational friend. Okay, hey, am I wrong? And I asked.
Right.
And if I'm wrong, and of course yeah, the table can say I have asked that question many a times for females and males because it come. Sometimes I wasn't always wrong, I didn't
Right.
take it wrong. And then I had to figure out, now what am I going to do about it?
Yeah, how
Now,
do you deal with it?
exactly.
Mhm.
And it was either
Yeah.
cut that person off, feed them with a long handled spoon,
Right.
and just love them from where I'm sitting at.
Right.
And that has been my chosen for a lot of people these days. You know, sit where I'm sitting and love them from afar.
Yeah.
Because being too close is gonna damage me.
Right.
And I don't want to become inadequate again.
Right.
You know, I just came out of my doggone my little sleeping bed over there, and it was kind of tore up.
Right.
I had a whole sleeping bed with holes in it. You know what I'm saying? And then I tried to put it on some water and float, and we both drowned.
Right. Exactly.
But
Exactly.
now I'm a whole different person. So, with that being said, I can pick my inadequacies. Everybody else should be able to pick their inadequacies.
Yes, if you're true to yourself.
Really, because that's the one person that I was told when I was younger from my
know you.
grandmother.
You know
Yeah,
yourself.
you should
Right.
know yourself.
My grandmama used to always tell me the one person you should never lie to is
yourself.
yourself.
Mhm.
And
It's
when you start
yourself.
lying
Yep.
to yourself, you
Yeah,
gonna
you in
lie to
trouble.
anybody.
Yeah, you in trouble.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was the one thing that I got through to myself is to stop lying to myself. Everything ain't okay. Because I
Right.
used to say, it's okay.
Right.
It's not
No, it's not.
okay.
Mhm.
Let me tell you why it's not okay. And I learned how to do that too. Because I didn't
Yeah.
used to say that. I used to say, well, you know what? It's okay. I'm good. And in the back of my mind, I am sitting here dying
Right.
slowly because I'm hurting from the inside out. And then when it starts showing out, that's when I realize now I'm affecting my friends. Because now
Right.
my friends don't want to be around me.
Right.
They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it.
Right.
And so then now it was time for me to take a stance and do what I needed to do. So I did what I had to do. I moved on. And sometimes people aren't meant to just be your friends. So you leave them right where they were.
Exactly.
In a ditch, wherever it is.
You're right.
And I got it real bad that when that person is hurting, I hate to see someone hurting, and that's my fault. I have that really bad. But when someone's hurting, I tend to be over attentive to their hurt.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to learn from Nicole, that everybody don't need my attention.
Right,
Just
yeah.
leave them there.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Walk away.
Right.
Walk away. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting like, God, I can't
They
believe
don't need
that
you
this
to
is
fix it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest problem.
Yeah.
Trying to be Miss Fixer, and I
Right.
can't fix it. Trust and believe I've done. You know, they say Gorilla Glue is good. It ain't that doggone good.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I learned a lot too with myself, you know, because I was the tit for tat. Oh, you wanted that to me, I'm gonna do it back. But I'm gonna get you back, but you know,
Right.
I'm gonna get you back.
Right.
You might not know when it's gonna happen, but it's coming.
Yeah.
You know that's how
Right.
that was me, you know. But now I just look at. I guess I'm doing it in a different way. I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you better than I
Yeah.
can.
And that's, yeah. Yeah.
Let me show
Let me
you.
Exactly.
show you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can end up harming yourself
Yeah.
because you get so focused on trying to show.
Yeah.
Right.
And that has been a downfall of mine where I end up being in a pickle because I'm like, I'm going to climb this building
Yeah.
because they told me I couldn't climb that.
Right.
And
Right.
I'll show you, I can get on top of that roof, you know. and you know, you have to stop and think about, do you even need to be on top of
Right.
the roof?
Right.
You know, I mean, sometimes we need to adopt the serenity prayer. And Lord, help me to accept the things I cannot change.
Right.
The wisdom to know the difference.
Right.
You know, and it's just some things that, like Honey Josh said, she had to learn, accept. Okay, wow, that person is going through something. They just got to go through it. All I can do for them is pray for them.
Right.
You know, that is what they have to go through
Right.
at that time. Maybe that's what God has them going through to
Right.
train them and teach them a certain
A
thing, a
lesson.
lesson or whatever. Or sometimes it is for us to watch and observe, and it's actually
Because
teaching
it's
us a
also
lesson.
Right. It's a
You
lesson
know,
for us.
I mean, I can honestly say nobody's perfect, obviously, but Nicole can speak to it. Losing my brother, his death actually impacted so many people that we didn't have a clue
Right.
how many lives he actually had touched, and then the way he had touched it
Right.
in a short span, 47 years. You know, we over here falling out, losing it. Like, how could this happen? It was such a quick, tragic thing that the way it happened. You know, go in for something very simple, supposed to be out of the hospital within a few hours, and he's gone. But he affected
A lot.
his death. He had to die to show a lot of people a process. Now, once we had to accept that, now that was a hard pill to swallow. And for my mother to have to bury her son, second son, first one was infant. So both boys gone. But we also learn from observing her, because that's the worst pain a parent can have, is to bury the child.
Right.
And the way she kept pushing and her reasons for pushing helped us be stronger and helped us learn how to look at it and view. And I also, for me, learned then how to truly turn it over to God. You know, I had been taught, you turn it over to the Lord, turn it over.
Right.
Well, turn it over when you can't do nothing else
right,
about it.
Right.
And just sit there, you know, and wait on it. You know, and so sometimes that person is brought into your life. You see them doing, hurting. And as Honey Josh said, she wanted to jump in and try to help. Well, maybe that was for her to observe. And maybe it was for her to learn. Or maybe it was for somebody else to watch that person and how they dealt with their plight.
Right.
You know, so we have to tread lightly, go in it softly. Sometimes you just need to be the listener.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
True.
maybe they just need that ear to bend, you know,
Right.
and then they're good, you know, and they can keep moving forward, because we all human.
Right.
So,
With that being said, we're going to get ready to shut down. It's been our pleasure, but before we get off, we want to get a quick word from Miss Sassy Red and Miss Nicole, and then we'll go ahead and let you guys have the rest of your night in hopes that you guys see, visit, tag, push, share with someone who you know needs to learn about their own inadequacies, as well as being able to identify it and being strong enough to try to either deal with it or walk away.
right.
With that
Right.
being said, go ahead.
Fancy Red?
I can really just add to what you guys have been saying. I am glad to be that voice of reason for at least two of y'all. And every now and then, Miss Chrissy will say something to me. But I'm also glad that I can come to each of you
Yeah.
when I'm about to do something crazy. Because, you know, I have a tendency to just fly off every now and then, too. And, you know, I'm about to mess something up.
Right.
So I'm like, wait a minute. Look, I went through this, and this. So I'm about to go over here and do something else. So what you think?
Right.
And I get, no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's just a moment.
Right.
Let that person have their moment.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, I'm glad to be able to have that person to bounce my ideas and my thoughts off of that's not negative, because I can look back on my own life. I've had some positive people, and those positive people are still there, but I've also had those that are still damaged themselves, still going through
Right.
stuff that they really shouldn't be, or that they should have learned from by now. And those are not the people that I talk to. Now, I do spend some time listening to a couple of those people every now and then, and I'm like, okay, look, you got to step back from whatever you're doing and think about your own self. Think about, you know, what you should be doing. Or in one person's case, think about your kids.
Right.
Forget all this extra, because your kids matter over all the extra that you're talking about. So,
That's true.
you know, and I like I said, I don't spend too much time listening and talking to those people, because you talking more negative stuff, and I have entirely too much stuff going on in my life, too much positive stuff, too many blessings coming my way to deal with all that negativity.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I'd rather come to my sisters and talk about what's on my mind and bounce this off of them and hear them, you know what, no, don't do that, and it ain't like that, you just overthinking it, which I'm real guilty of. Like Honey Josh said, I'm guilty of thinking about a whole lot of stuff. I can sit in this truck for 8, 10, 11 hours and do nothing but think. I don't even have to talk to nobody. My mind is going, and we talking to we self
Right.
all day long.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for this sisterhood. I'm thankful that we get to share with other people. And maybe what we're saying in this conversation will help them out.
Right.
True. Yeah. Because the conversation needs to be had.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
We're tired
Always.
of this big pink elephant in the room. Let's go ahead and get it up out of here because it
Right.
can't fit through the door anyway.
Right.
Exactly.
And I don't like pink elephants.
Alrighty then.
No, but I'm glad that we have, each one of us have some type of support system for each other. You know, far as me, I'm straight blunt. I'm kind of like straight to the point.
Kinda.
Yep.
Forward on a lot of things.
Kinda.
I know on certain things, if it become one of those where it's just the same old tune,
Yeah.
then you're going to hear a different tune from me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
because now it's, to me, become one of those that you like this attention and you want this, and instead of trying to figure out how to balance it out or get some type of help that you need,
Right.
it become a woe it's me type situation.
Right. Mhm.
And that's when it's over and over. Woe it's me. I can't do woe it's me.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know, because
Right.
now I feel like by having a support system or whoever you're speaking to, they keep giving you some type of different type of avenues, different solutions, things to give to you, and you still
Right.
coming back saying, "Well, it's me." Then you don't want to be helped, you
Right.
know? So
Right.
you have to
Nope.
really.
That's all you want to do.
That's all
Yeah.
you want to do is be the "woe it's me." So then
Yeah.
that's when it become a deaf ear. You
Right.
know, it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
In one, out one.
in one, out one.
Right.
But I do appreciate each one, my support system, because we bounce a lot of things, like we said, ideas.
Right.
We talk to each other about different things. They done seen me upset. I done seen all them upset.
Right.
So we done had this. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, we've all had our
Right,
moments.
But I'm always smiling, so you
Yeah.
really don't know when I'm upset.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, you know, for us to have this conversation, because you do have to know what your flaws are and what you
Right.
actually, if you are truly damaged and what you are bringing to the table to someone else, so
Exactly.
you can work on it. Because
True.
like you said, y'all both have to work on each other.
Right.
You're going to have to work, if you really want this relationship,
Yeah.
y'all going to have to really work it out.
And that's
Right.
what it's
And
about.
that's
if
all
you
what
want
it's
it.
really
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Because together we grow.
Yeah.
And as Nicole just said, if you're still down in the weeds, is what I call it, when are you going to turn into a flower?
Right.
Right.
Stay down in the weeds. Well, guess what? I'm tired of weeding the garden, so I'm gonna have to move on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move on.
And
yeah.
then you get choked out on your
Yeah,
roses and stuff.
exactly.
Ooh.
Everything, and it's
Beautiful.
all ugly, you know.
Right.
But we're trying to grow this, and we're trying to grow one another and grow together.
It's all about growth
Right.
Right.
and change.
Big
Right.
changes, you know, and that's one thing we really have to see within ourselves is if you sit there, this is funny. On Facebook, there was this picture, you know, Facebook goes back a year, 4 years, 7 years, and there was a situation that one of my friends had, and my friend said, wow, it is 4 years later, and I'm still in that situation. And I told her it's about time for you to make a change.
Right.
Now you see that you need to make a change. No, if you don't make that change now,
Right.
then 4 more years from today, you're going to see the same exact
That thing,
thing
yeah.
happening in your life. And with that being said, within just 3 years, I've made a huge 360. There used to be a time where I'm ready to act up.
Right.
And now I don't even act up. I
Right.
have to think about some things. And then like I said, I do bounce them off. I'm quick. I pick phone. Oh, Nicole. Because Nicole is not the voice of reason. Nicole is. I don't feel like hearing that. What you talking about? That ain't even right. You know what? You're wrong. Stop.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to get that. And I need that.
Right.
And if I want that softer touch, I'm going to call. I'm going to
Fancy
call
Red.
Fancy Red.
Yeah.
And she going to be like, you know what? You right.
Yeah.
But, you know, you need to, you
Right.
need to know which day you need
that what
that
person.
person.
Mhm.
And
Miss
if
Chrissy
I want
gonna be
Miss
like,
Chrissy,
"Girl."
I got to be ready. You got to know when it's got to be at your wit's end, and now you need someone to help you jump to the right conclusion.
Right.
And that's when I picked the phone. Okay, check this out, Chrissy. Because you already got the answer by the time you get to Chrissy. Now, if you get to Chrissy and you ain't got the answer,
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. That's a no-nonsense. But I love her. But
We're not gonna spend a bunch of time on this.
That's how she is.
Come on now, come on. Let's get to it.
With that being said, sometimes you got to get a new group of friends, a new
Yeah.
group of something.
That's true.
You know, a little bit more positive for what that is. And I think that the biggest thing that we wanted to do today is just really point out what we have going on, what we as women have going on, and how we can work on and address it, and how there is such thing as women bonding and getting.
Yeah.
Just actually
And it's not a cat fight.
Correct.
Yeah.
And to me, if you think that women don't get along, that's inadequacy for you too.
Yeah. True.
But true, because
like I heard this
does.
before. I
Yeah.
heard this before. You know, I don't
Yeah.
get along with women. I don't know where they come from.
Right.
I don't, because
Well,
you're a
then
woman.
you're dealing
You don't
with
get along
girls.
yourself.
See,
Correct.
there is a difference. Then you must be a girl.
Yeah.
Because
Correct.
as a woman, women know how to deal with the situation.
Exactly.
Correct.
We all four have had our differences.
Correct.
But we also know how to iron out those differences.
Correct.
That's called being a woman, being
Correct.
an adult. If I'm a girl, then I don't like what they just said tonight. And I'm done.
Right.
And I'm going to throw my hissy fit and I'm gone.
She would have got about the chair and left by then.
Yeah,
But anywho.
you know, so yeah, we got to grow up.
But yeah, I just want to say thank anyone out there that's listening. We do
Yes.
truly appreciate you guys for
Definitely.
even
Yes.
just giving us the attention and the opportunity to come into your homes or into your phone, your radio, whatever you're listening to,
Right.
and allowing us to just be there. We can't say that we're experts, but we can say that we have lived and we have learned and we're still learning.
You're right.
And with that being said, I just want to say whatever you're doing out there, be safe.
Exactly.
And we all just want to say it all together. Let's sip tea. Continue to keep talking to one another. We love you guys, and you have a great one.
All right.
All right.